Today I'm going to be playing some games with Pult Chicken. This is a deck that I've been playing for a few weeks now, and I really like. It's been my favorite Dragapult variant to play, just because I really like the energy acceleration and some of the cool plays you can make by attacking with different Pokemon. This is the list that I used to win a cup, and I got second at another cup with a very similar list. And so this has been going pretty well for me as of right now. I've also won a couple challenges with it as well. So this is kind of my go-to deck in this format, and I just wanted to play a couple games to kind of showcase some of the cool stuff you can do with it. One of the things that I really like about this deck is that going first or second is kind of good either way in a lot of situations. The heavy candy count really makes the likelihood that you find the candy chicken or candy pult earlier a lot higher, which feels pretty good sometimes. So your setup early game can be pretty good if you go first. But going second is also just fine in most situations as well. Okay, it's going to be a Pult Mirror. So we'll see which version of Pult Mirror we are going against. Because I think this will kind of determine if we want to go into Bidoof or if we want to just decide not to go into the Bidoof early, you know? So honestly, if they don't have an energy, then depending on where they would attach, it can make a difference on whether or not we want to actually attach to the active. Okay, they're going to put the Meowth down here. Just get the Lily ahead of time so if we don't play the Watchtower. Okay, they're going to put their own Watchtower down. Okay, so what I actually like about this start is that we can kind of go aggressively into the attacking with Pult next turn if they don't Bidoof. So I wouldn't hate that. And in fact, if we were to, okay, we did press 2 GP. If we were to go into the Bidoof though this turn, I think it does make it more likely that we get this candy off, because then that means there's a good chance they don't get the Bidoof down. But I also don't know if they actually would want to go into Bidoof on their turn. Let's go like this. Get an early attack. I don't know if I want to go this or the Blaziken here. Because obviously this just doesn't work if we don't attack with that. Probably smarter to just go like this. But they... no, I should... I'm going to kind of go aggressive into the potential Dragapult. So we do have the Combuskin in hand. One problem with that is we can't get another Dreepy down, which really sucks. I do want to use this because I think we can fall back on a Bidoof potentially. But I don't know if I actually want to go into that. Do I? Because if I go Bidoof, retreat, Itchy-Pollen, but he does have 2 cloaks in his hand. It's just how worried am I about him getting Bidoof down. Like, I don't really care if he gets items that much. It's just the reason that the Bidoof would be good is to block him out of using items for his own thing. Also, I attached the wrong energy because if I leave this here, I'm just gonna attack. But we'll just do this because we'll see what happens. Because either we get an aggressive Dragapult attack here, or we just fall back into like Bidoof maybe. But even then, I don't know if we actually go into Bidoof next turn because it might be like it might feel a little bit too late. So I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so unless we're playing the Latios, we might just be able to get the Dragapult attack here. So it really just depends on if this is straight Pult or Pult Nor or the done version. I don't really know. Could also be ChickenPult, but I feel like they maybe would have gotten a Torchic down turn 1. since they had the Pokemon options if it was the ChickenPult. Okay, so it's Pult Nor. So the good thing is we can get an aggressive Candy Pult here. So we can take out that Duskull, which feels really good, and we get the Cloak plus Combuskin, so our kind of start is pretty good here. I'd really like to find a boss off of that Cloak though. That'd be super cool. But we are pretty susceptible to the what's it called? We stamp here. But we don't leave any damage on board, which means our Cloak can just live, but them going Candy, or not Candy, like boss in this would be bad. So we're looking for, I don't know if we want just Stadium because putting the Meowth down would be not great. Don't want to have leave the option for ourselves. I guess it's this, right? Because we can already just go like that. But I don't think we even need to use that. It's just kind of both not very good. Not having 2 Drapies down feels pretty scary here. Do we ever bench the... In this spot, I don't actually hate getting this Torchic down. Get the Torchic and I can actually Pokepad for this guy. In case we find the energy we want. I'm just debating on if we want to put down Clefairy here. Also, do I want to counter Stadium? Because counter Stadium can give me the potential option of if he stamps me, then I can find. I kind of want to put the Clefairy down because in worst case he KOs this, but then I get attack on his Dragapult. If he goes, but yeah, and he has to go like boss plus that. Oh, this might be a mistake, but I kind of don't hate just threatening this. Making his stamp like potentially a little less powerful. Might just be a mistake though, I don't really know. But it does feel good to get like an aggressive attack and taking on a Duskull. So I think the thing we're scared of most is like, well, you know what? I don't even know if they would go after the Clefairy here. It's just kind of giving ourselves some potential threat with multiple ways we can attack with the Clefairy, which is just put so much pressure on their Dragapult here. But like boss plus stamp is just whatever they would want to bring up. Because this is the thing, I don't actually know if they would even. Well, I guess yeah, it's fine if they're not doing that. It just can get weird if they would bring up Cloak plus Stamp. I think would actually be a better play from them if they had the Stamp combination, which is kind of what I was thinking of. And I'm just like fine with that because I just get to continue attacking with this Dragapult and it doesn't like sacrifice our board too much. Okay, so we want either out to Chicken or Night Stretcher here. It's not exactly what I want. Do I want? Okay, we have that in hand, so it's fine. I can go like boss. Well, I probably want to boss the Cloak, right? Because then I just need to take 2. Because then regardless, I just need boss per game. So I think that's fine. Yeah, I think I can. I do want to counter the Stadium. I think that's fine. This here. Boss up the Cloak, probably. Just make it harder for them to find anything. I really want to take this damage off of. We're not putting like excess damage. The only thing they can KO on the bench is like a Torchic. I guess they could like risky monkey. I guess I don't want him to take a knockout. take this out. So now we either just need the way to attack with Clefairy here, or just a boss. But countering the Watchtower felt pretty good there. Just have the option of using Meowth. Yes, one of the things in the Dragapult matchup that's super relevant to kind of always keep in mind is that not putting okay, this was the thing I was kind of worried about if they played the risky, so I maybe should have just like gotten rid of it off the cloak. That was okay. Just conceded, yeah. Is not leaving damage counters on your opponent's board is just super important. So sometimes it's better to just like not swing into stuff just to avoid putting damage, right? Because as long as you kind of have a board state still in play, like a board that you can use to like draw cards and stuff, then it feels like pretty decent. Even if you're not threatening certain things, just being able to kind of prevent that is pretty relevant. I've won games that I've been behind in because my opponent has kind of overplaced the damage counters, and I kind of just completely avoided putting any damage on their board, and somehow would manage to make a comeback in those types of games. So it's pretty important to note. Yeah, because with like no Hawlucha, they can't really make as many big plays, So we went second last game. Let's try going first here. I don't really know if I think blind first is better or not. I generally like going first. I think there's a fair amount of decks where it's like pretty useful for you to go first, and like I said, the pressure you can put on them with candy potentially early is really nice to have. Okay, Clefairy starts pretty bad, but it could be fine if we can kind of be aggressive with it potentially. Okay, so it's a Dunsparce, so it's some sort of Dunsparce deck. So it could be Alakazam, could be the Pult. Definitely some different things it could be. So let's do this. Price 2 Drapey again. Interesting. So we have Meowth. Don't have Fez. Have our Stamp. Have a Crispin. Psychics, okay. I think I'm just going to attach this here, kind of threaten an early attack and pass. I don't want to use the Ultra Ball because if it's the Dragapult, then the fan I feel like is pretty useful, or at least can be pretty useful. Okay. We're gonna go into Bidoo. Early Crispin here. Just kind of a bad sign for their start potentially. It's pretty slow. Another good thing is that they're probably not playing Stamp if they're playing the Dunsparce version. So it's probably a good sign that I can just be aggressive with Clefairy and just like attacking with it if we find the energy. Probably can attach this here too. Could play the Crispin right now to start attacking early, but I think it's just more important to try to find the cloaks. Ooh, that's pretty good. Found a cloak and the psychic energy. I like that. Probably this. The attack. Just swing. I might still be playing Unfair Stamp. I don't know. I've seen some builds that are playing like the lesser count of the Dunsparce. So they could still be playing that. Would have liked to find like a watchtower there, but okay. The cloak. Double cloak. Assuming they have a Dunsparce as well. Maybe not. Okay. So I just don't really want them to Badoo us because I really want to get my board set up more right now. I don't know how many the Badoos that list plays. Okay, so they're not planning on going into Badoo. So that's good. So we can actually get like way more established on our board here, which feels really nice. Okay. Yeah, not being able to get like another Dreepy down is pretty sketchy. We have to go double Torchic here. Yeah, double Torchic. I can maybe hold off on this. Just trying to think, do I want to use that right now? So what am I looking for? Use this with Candy, right? Because I double Ultra Ball. This, I think it's fine to just bring up the cloak here, because it just makes weird stuff happen with their energy, I think. Grab this as a counter stadium, because there's a good chance they play the risky, I think. Go attach to here, and then boss up a cloak. I don't think I need to grab anything. Could bench Fez preemptively, but I think it could get, well, no, I think it's fine to bench it, right? It can get weird if they bring it up and hit. But do I care? Because then I can attach, kind of retreat into that. I don't know. I'm just going to take the knockout here. Because I'm just going to bet that they're playing Cape, so their hand disruption options are either very limited or non-existent. So that'd be a good indicator, like, if this were a best of 3 for next game, whether or not I would bench the Fez. That spot. It just can get a little weird if I were to bench it. Because I feel like it would put me on more of a clock than I'd want to be on. If they were, because that's all under the assumption that they do play hand disruption, because that would be the relevant factor here. Now if they can't really just avoid attacking the Clefairy, I don't think. Again, this all is under the assumption like whether or not they have like hand disruption, which is the thing that matters here. Okay, Crispin. I'm not too scared of this. 'Cause I can take 3. They want, they're leaving 10. I guess it matters on like a cloak if they do this. Yeah, I guess it could matter. Let me check something, because I don't remember if this deck plays like to 3 Crispin. Yeah, 3 Crispin. Okay. Okay, they're playing Stamp. That's what I was kind of worried about. But I guess the good part is that I actually don't like this from them. I think they should be moving that 10 onto Cloak here. Let's check their energies. Gotten rid of 1 fire, so the fire is going to be harder to use. So I just want to just put it here, I think. I don't want them to be able to shuffle it back into their deck. Them already having the monkey in play does make it a little weird, but then it just makes it harder for them to set up a second Pult, which is like the relevant thing. Grab this, but I'm not going to evolve it because there's still a chance that we get the Candy Blaziken, I think, which is pretty relevant to find if we can. Okay, guess we're just going to have to go into this. How do we, it gives us the best chance of like, to do that. So we did prize, not prize, we just didn't hit a psychic energy. To use this, don't really have a choice. Okay, I think this is probably just gonna be oops, I forgot about that. I think that's just over then. Yeah, I think I just made a mistake. To hope they like don't have Night Stretcher or fire. It's like not a super safe bet. I guess I just pass. I don't know if I should be playing the Watchtower there. I guess maybe I should, but just the chance they have counter stadium is really high. I don't really know what the win condition is. They just show the boss, I just lose. Maybe I should have played that. Prevent Meowth plus boss. Made a mistake with the JP. So I guess the thing in this spot to consider is I think it's fair to play it the way we did it, because not having 2 Dreepy is really bad for draw because of situations like that if your opponent's playing Stamp. But I think it was pretty reasonable to assume that they're playing Cape, because that's just like the version that plays Dunsparce most commonly. So that's like something that you would note going into like the next game, right? That maybe aggressively attacking with the Clefairy is just like not good because they could be playing the Stamp there. So that makes it just a lot sketchier to do. Yeah, that was some gameplay with ChickenPult. I've been really liking the deck. You just have a lot of options of what you can do and what you can attack with. So I think in this current format, I'm probably going to be sticking with it and just kind of like modifying the list as we go on. And then I'll start testing some other stuff going into the NAIC format with the new set. But yeah, that was, thanks for watching.